Hello everyone and welcome to the Horror Snob. My name's Michael James, I am the Horror Snob, and I'm here with 3 more new movie previews I'm going to be running down with you today. A lot of under-the-radar titles, but things look very promising. And if you want a quick glimpse without listening to me babble on for the next few minutes, you can check out the trailers-only version of today's episode. Just hit the link provided above. As for the 3 movies we're talking about today, 2 of them coming out next week, one on Thursday, one on Friday, and then the third of today's movies will be coming out the following week on March the 26th. So, a lot we got to get to today, including our Horror Snob Hall of Fame challenge. Let's dig right into it all with number 1 on our board, Slaxx. A movie that doesn't really sport a cast or crew you're going to be familiar with, but in the end, I don't think that's important. What is important is whether or not you've ever seen the movie Rubber. For those of you who have, I'm sure you're smiling and you know exactly where I'm going with this. Slaxx looks like Rubber for the fashion industry. A movie that was entirely entertaining, amusing, and bloody as hell as much as it was weird. Slaxx should be all of that, except this time it's a pair of jeans. Now, if you have not seen Rubber, I will tell you, you need to prioritize that, and beautiful thing is you can find it for free on Tubi, Crackle, Pluto, pretty much anywhere you watch free shit nowadays. As for Slaxx, expect it to be every bit as creepy, cool, weird, and gory as Rubber was. It'll be a priority on the list and available for our streaming pleasure on Shudder next week on Thursday the 18th. At number 2, it's Phobias, a movie that might be a little bit under the radar much in the way that Slaxx is, but unlike Slaxx, there is a cast and crew behind this thing full of names you're going to recognize, not the least of which is the one behind camera on this film, Camilla Belle. A person we are all very familiar with, going all the way back to the early part of her career when she was in the 2006 remake of When a Stranger Calls. All grown up and long past her years of doing things like Push and 10,000 BC, she's now behind camera doing a horror film. Gotta love it. She's co-director and co-writer on this. It's an anthology film and something that, from the looks of it, feels as though what you would expect if you were to take James Wan and mix in Roxanne Benjamin, a person who's very well versed in the world of horror anthology films, having worked on all 3 VHS movies, Southbound and XX, and who we just yesterday honored as our Women of Horror selection of the day. You take the 2 of their personalities, their work, and you put them together. From the looks of the trailer, that is what I would expect of this movie. An anthology that is dark, disturbing, foreboding, that eats away at your soul, and has interconnected, individualized stories to create a massive whole. With a great cast on screen, including Leonard Nam, Alexis Knapp, Charlotte McKinney, Macy Gray, and Hannah Mae Lee, this thing seems to have all of the components of what should be an absolutely epic horror film. Find it available video on demand next Friday the 18th. Hey gang, before we finish up today's episode, just a quick reminder to check out the website horrorsnob.com. You can find a full archive of everything I've put out thus far, some truly awesome novelty items, and absolutely rare horror memorabilia authentically autographed by dudes like Sid Haig, John Carpenter, and Bela Lugosi. All available for you at horrorsnob.com. And now let's get back into it. And finally today, we finish up with The Arbors, another very under-the-radar movie that I am expecting big things from what I see in this trailer. 1 part aliens, 1 part arachnophobia. This thing has very, very dark, disturbing, depressing vibes to it, with a lot of promise of some truly chilling and gruesome scenes for us in the future. A tone and mood that reminds me so much of so many of the great indie films that have come out over the last several years. Things like The Dark, The Blackcoat's Daughter, Raw, and The Dark and the Wicked. It should be just a haunting movie and one that sticks with you for a long, long time. You can find it available also video on demand. This one, though, the following Friday on March the 26th. All right, that's it for me today. As always, I invite you to take a moment, hit that subscribe button and the bell, stay up to date with all my reviews, rankings, previews, and more that I pump out on a regular basis. And as for today's Horror Snob Hall of Fame Challenge, some new rules. We're changing things up a little bit here. You can find all the information you need available on our Facebook page. It is pinned to the top, easy to find. As for today's Horror Snob Hall of Fame Challenge, I'm picking my favorite of the 5 anthology films mentioned earlier as part of Roxanne Benjamin's catalog. Our Horror Snob Women of Horror honoree from yesterday. I am a huge fan of the films she has worked on, and in particular between the 3 VHS films, Southbound and XX, I have to say by far and away, Southbound is my favorite. A fantastic film, several great, well interconnected storylines that make up the whole. It is so perfect, so beautiful. I want to know from you whether you agree. If so, comment Horror Snob in the section down below, and if not, which of the other movies I mentioned do you prefer more? Tell me, and tell me why in the comment section down below for a chance to win today's prize of the day, a vintage tin poster of Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. Leave your comment down below, and remember, you need to be a subscriber of ours on YouTube and a follower of ours on either Facebook or Instagram in order to be eligible. As always, my name's Michael James. I am the Horror Snob. I thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.